In the opening, Clint Barton is showing his girl toxophilism on his segregated ranch while his significant other readies an excursion lunch for them. Out of nowhere, Clint's little girl disappears and the remainder of Clint's family crumbles, alongside half of all life across the universe, the consequence of Thanos snapping his fingers subsequent to securing every one of the 6 Infinity Stones. Cloud and Tony Stark are abandoned in space following their loss by Thanos on Titan, yet are gotten back to Earth via Carol Danvers and rejoined with Natasha Romanoff, Bruce Banner, Steve Rogers, Rocket, Thor, and James Rhodes. The group figures out how to take the Infinity Stones back from Thanos and use them to invert his activities, yet learn after finding him that he had utilized the stones a second chance to obliterate them, forestalling their further use. He lets the leftover Avengers know that he did as such to try not to involve the stones for additional odious purposes. Maddened, Thor executes Thanos, saying it's what he ought to have done in Wakanda. After 5 years, Scott Lang escapes from the quantum domain to find that his girl Cassie is presently a young person and that Hope Van Dyne, alongside half of the populace, has vanished in the snap. Rogers has been driving Sadness guiding meetings for survivors actually battling with the impacts of the snap, while Romanoff is vigorously overseeing both Earth and the remainder of the universe with the assistance of Rhodes, Danvers, Okoye, Rocket. Lang goes to Romanoff and Rogers, and makes sense of that while 5 years had passed for them, just 5 hours had passed for him in the quantum domain and that time extends much distinctively there. The three go to Stark, who is presently bringing up a kid with Pepper Potts, and make sense of their hypothesis that the quantum domain can be utilized to travel once more into the past and take the Infinity Stones before Thanos can gather them. Distinct at first oddballs their proposition with worry about taking a chance with his family and the harmony he has found. However, in the wake of reflecting upon the deficiency of Peter Parker chooses to test hypothetical models that would work with Lang's quantum burrow, in the end tracking down one that works. With Stark now ready, the excess Avengers set off on a mission to reassemble their group. Bruce Banner has now embraced the Hulk as a piece of him, and has merged his own cognizance and the Hulks together into one. Flag and Rocket go to the humble community of New Asgard. They there find Thor, who has become overpowered by responsibility over neglecting to kill Thanos in Wakanda. Thor has become overweight, his hair and facial hair are congested, and he invests his free energy eating low-quality food, becoming inebriated, and playing Fortnite with his companions Korg and Miek. In the wake of testing the quantum time machine on Barton, who affirms that it works, the Avengers are brought together with an arrangement. Banner, Rogers, Lang, and Stark set out to recover the time, mind, and space stones during the Clash of New York in 2012. Pennant goes to the Sanctum Sanctorum, where he is educated by the Ancient One that requiring some investment stone from her timetable would forestall Stephen Strange's future endeavors, to prevent Caecilius from annihilating the laws of nature. Notwithstanding, when Banner tells her that Strange surrendered the Time Stone eagerly to Thanos, she permits Banner to make them infer. Strange had planned for a particular grouping of occasions to happen for Thanos to be crushed. Standard additionally guarantees the stones' revisitation of their appropriate courses of events to forestall any evil impacts, while Stark takes the folder case lodging the Tesseract when no one is looking. Their arrangement is impeded when Stark drops the attaché after he is inadvertently hit by the Hulk. Loki then, at that point, takes the Space Stone and uses it to get away from guardianship. Rogers prevails with regards to taking the Mind Stone from covert Hydra specialists, however finds his previous self, who botches him for a hidden Loki. In the wake of overcoming past Steve, Rogers gets back together with Stark and Lang, who currently should sort out one more method for getting the Space Stone without running out of the restricted stock of Pym particles that permit them to go through, while likewise taking further vials of Pym particles to make the excursion back home. While there, Rogers cites Peggy Carter and Stark has a significant discussion with his dad Howard. Rocket and Thor travel to Asgard to recover the Reality Stone, before Malekith utilizes it against the Nine Realms. While in Asgard, Thor is reminded that his mom, Frigga, would bite the dust soon and gets an opportunity experience with her while Rocket takes the ether. Thanos and Ebony Maw find the presence of future Nebula and go to abduct her. Cloud acknowledges what has occurred and attempts to caution the others, yet is past the point of no return. Thanos examines her recollections and finds the Avengers arrangement, and sends the more steadfast past Nebula back to the present as a government operative. Barton and Romanoff travel to Vormir to recover the Soul Stone, however are clashed when Red Skull, guardian of the stone, illuminates them that it must be recovered by forfeiting somebody they love. The two battle about which will make the penance, with Romanoff at last accepting any penalty, while an upset Barton gets back to Earth with the Soul Stone. After everybody has gotten back to the present on Earth, Stark, Rocket, and Banner set off on a mission to make a glove to employ the stones, one built from the equivalent nanotech of Stark's most recent Iron Man suit. Flag volunteers himself to use the glove and bring back everybody that vanished in Thanos' snap, thinking that he can endure both the gamma radiation and the huge aggravation and injury welcomed on by utilizing the stones. He succeeds, however they are very quickly gone after by Thanos, who has been brought to Earth by the Faker Nebula, annihilating the quantum entryway all the while. The previous Nebula is killed by her future self as she endeavors to take the Infinity Stones from Barton, while Rogers, Thor, and Stark face Thanos, who concludes he will rather utilize the Infinity Stones to obliterate the universe and make one in. The three battle Thanos one-on-one, with Rogers affirming Thor's hypothesis that he deserved using Mjolnir, however are each outclassed by Thanos. Utilizing the nanotech from the new glove, Stark moves the Infinity Stones from Thanos' hand to his own and utilizes them to transform Thanos and his whole armed force into debris, victoriously expressing "I'm Iron Man." Barton gets back to his family and Parker gets back to school, where he is brought together with his dearest companion Ned. In the meantime, Rogers is entrusted to go into the past to return the stones and Thor's sledge to their unique courses of events, yet chooses not to get back to the present and to rather carry on with the remainder of his life in the past with Cart. A concise flashback shows Rogers and Carter in a common-looking house, at last sharing the dance they never got to have in their lounge room, genuinely cheerful finally.